Welcome to the Games Talk Live podcast, episode number 131. I'm your host, Jay Fonzarelli, and of course with me, as always, my co-host, Hargeet and I. How have you been, Hargeet?
I've been good. Another week, another doom and gloom, I'm sure.
For who, though, this week?
Oh, I think this time maybe it's the other side. Nah, maybe it's the Xbox Series S's fault. Everything's always the Xbox.
Okay. Series S.
It's always the Xbox's fault.
With certain things, you're right, but there's a lot of bad going on both sides of the coin here. It's not looking great out there in these gaming streets, as some people call it. You know what? And that laugh you hear down below me, of course, is the one and only Red Wolf from the Red Wolf Renegade YouTube channel. Welcome.
Yes. Thank you.
How have you been,
so
man?
much? I'm doing great. I'm so good. I'm so good. I'm too good. I'm too good.
He's too good.
And
he's too good for all of us.
That's why I'm here. I know. Well, I hit the too good status, and then I ended up on Games Talk Live. Thank you so much for having me.
You've reached the pinnacle of all podcasts, man. We will be maxing out at a cool, probably 35 viewers tonight.
Yeah.
And don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. They're all cool people. Anyways, I want to welcome Mav to the show from the Fun Speculation YouTube channel. He's been here before many times. Mav, it's been a while. Welcome back.
It's been a while, man. Yeah, it has. It's been like
months.
A month, or I almost feel like it's been almost a year.
Close.
But yeah, I'm super happy to be back. This is the first time I think I got everything working right on time, and like everything's good to go on GTL. And you got Hargeet now is full time here as well. This is awesome, which I think is different than last time. I don't remember if he was the co-host yet.
No, he wasn't. And I gotta tell you, it's Hargeet's fault you haven't been back. He said, "Do not invite Mav."
That's typical Hargeet. You guys
I don't know why.
don't understand.
But he's now allowed me to do it again. He goes, "Mav's okay now."
He seems all ultra nice and everything to everybody in the community, but really behind the scenes, this guy is kind of a prick.
Oh, he's nasty.
You guys don't know it.
He's so nasty.
I get these messages on Discord from him because he doesn't use Twitter, and he's just like talking all this crap and like, "I hate you. You're never going to be on GTL again." You guys don't understand the real Hargeet.
Good luck making it out there.
Yeah, I see a lot of cool people in the chat. Shout out to Web Dave in the chat. Got to give him a big shout out. Web Dave has been a big supporter for so long now. I've always seen Web Dave in the chat. That blue number, Holly, welcome, my friend. One of my good friends out there. We were besties out in LA, by the way. Holly and I. Awesome. She was awesome. Holly was awesome. Very funny, cool person to hang out with for sure. Along, of course, with Dante. And we had Sean Labrie in our little group too at times. We had freaking Colt Eastwood. We had a blast, man. It was so much fun. I would do it all over again. In fact, I'm going to do it again next year. Hargeet was there. Had a blast.
Hargeet was there. I almost made it. They were like, we're gonna get you there.
You shut your mouth, Red Wolf. Almost doesn't count. You either show up or shut up.
Listen, I had dreams about it. So I was there in the dreamland. Okay. I literally had dreams about like being in big crowds and like not knowing where I was. And then I peed my bed. It was great.
Yeah. You know what? That's TMI, but Mav, you should come out too, man. It's a blast, bro. It's a blast.
One of these days, man. One of these days. I think before Summer Game Fest, I was talking to Hargeet a little bit about like, oh yeah, I really want to sometime, man. But like it's just, hard to make it happen sometimes, like with work and life and all this stuff. But it's been a dream of mine to go to one of the bigger shows, right? Yeah. But it's waited so long that they're all changing constantly. It's hard to keep up now with what to even go to. But if I could go to the Summer Game Fest next year, that's what I'm crossing.
You know
my
what
fingers.
it's about? It's not even about the shows. It's about getting to hang out with all these cool people we've been talking to for so long. Honestly, we have a blast
100%.
hanging out in the hotel lobbies, just freaking reminiscing and talking and sharing freaking food and drinks. It's just a great time.
Yeah,
it's
100%,
awesome.
man. I want to meet all you guys. Be a blast.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I met so many people that I've known for a long time here on YouTube and through party chats and stuff. But when you see them and get to just sit with them and talk, it's on another level. It's just fun. Yep. It's cool. Hargeet knows all about it. Yeah, I met Yodani Casada, by the way. He's in the chat. Yodani came up. He pulled up. Slick looking Yodani pulling up there.
Yo, Donnie, what's up?
Yo, Donnie, what's up? Yeah. It was a great time. We walked through the hood together, out there in LA. We walked through some mean streets. That. We really did. And Colt was really nervous. Really nervous. Yeah. Okay. But Holly was going to take care of all of us. She was going to beat up anybody who came up on us. So we were good.
I believe it.
Anyways, what have you guys been playing? We won't get too much. If you're playing any of the new games, we have, certain topics for that. But you can tell us what you've been playing. Red, I'll start with you. Might as well.
So I've been playing a lot of. Sorry, I have to say it like Colt does. It's a new thing. A lot of Dragon Age Inquisition. So I'm on, which is the third game in the series, getting ready for Dragon Age Veilguard. I'm a huge fan of that series. Today was the first day where I actually got to sit down and play it like for a few hours. You hit that like threshold whenever you're replaying a game after 10 years and you're like, now I remember why I love this. It only took me 40 hours in. So I'm playing that. Life is Strange. Also, I'm a big Life is Strange fan. Getting ready for the sequel to that, Double Exposure. So I'm really like in sequel prep mode and just trying to play all these games to get ready for the ones that are the sequels that are coming out. So yeah, mainly that, and I've been dabbling in. I played the entire Stalker trilogy, and I can't get enough of it. And I've been playing the Stalker Anomaly, which is like a standalone mod. It's kind of like the Fallout London of Stalker, and I just need to stop because I'm obsessed with it. But yeah, so mainly
you're getting
Dragon
ready
Age.
For Stalker 2, huh?
I'm a huge fan of Stalker. Like I am like obsessed with that. I need to stop. Like I ran out of games to play. I'm like, I need to go to the standalone mod games. That's where I'm at this point. Mm-hmm. Yeah, big fan of that. So, mainly just Dragon Age, Life is Strange, and a little bit of Stalker here and there whenever I can pry myself away from. Yeah.
Nice, Mav. What about you? What you been playing, man?
Well, for a while there, I've been lost in casual gamer mode, playing sports games. I've been playing college football 25 a lot. I've been hooked on Madden. Been playing Madden 25 a lot every night. But I just got Star Wars Outlaws with Ubisoft Plus, so I did a stream on that yesterday. So I played the first like hour and a half or so of that.
Yeah, I watched part of your stream, by the way. We're gonna talk about that later. So hold your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I'll hold my thoughts on it. Yeah. And then I've also been playing a lot of Command and Conquer Remastered on Steam. There's a game Tiberium, or not Tiberium. What's it called? Tempest Rising. Tempest Rising. Yeah, it's coming out later this year, and it's straight up Command and Conquer, right? It's made by former Command and Conquer devs. It's actually published crazily by 3D Realms and forget the Saber, and it's made up of Saber and 3D Realms, and it has former devs from Command and Conquer. And I had been hearing about this game for a while, but they had a demo on Steam a month ago, and I tried it, and I was like not expecting it was like a reskinned brand new Command and Conquer, man. So that's rised up my ranks to be one of my most anticipated this year, but it got me back into my nostalgia mode for one of my favorite franchises. So I've been just kind of relishing and getting some skirmishes against the PC going and stuff like that. But there's so much to play, dude, because what we look at coming up for the next couple months is absolutely crazy. And there's not going to be a letdown with new awesome games to play, man.
No, there isn't. Hargeet, have you played anything this past week? What you been up to?
Yeah, I finished a game called Greed the Mad Scientist, and that's all I really got to play. So I will get some more gaming.
Game Pass, right? Game Pass?
No, it's not actually.
No,
I bought that one
wow.
separately. It was on sale. So I'm like, all right, I'll pick it up.
Okay.
So
Sales work.
I still buy games.
Of course you do. Of course you do. Come on, Hargeet. Of course you do.
I buy more games for everybody else than I buy for myself. But hey, that's pretty funny.
that is probably true. But I would go out on a limb and say you probably buy more games than the average PlayStation user.
Well, that's probably true.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's probably true. Maybe not just for yourself, but for everybody.
I think that might be true of like any console, to be honest. But anyway,
yeah, I know. Xbox as well, for sure. Game Pass has taken over a lot of Xbox gamers' lives. That's for sure. I've personally been playing a lot of Red Dead 2 still. I've modded the crap out of mine, so I've been playing a lot of that. And matter of fact, I sent some videos over to Red Wolf to help him mod his Red Dead game, so that way you can enjoy what I'm enjoying out of Red Dead 2 right now. It's such an amazing game, even without the mods, but with the mods, it just adds so much more, in my opinion.
It's the best, man.
So good.
Yeah, I got the I like I like more like the immersive stuff. So like just cosmetic or world changing. I can't. There's like nothing to change about the world in that game. It's like it's so beautiful. It's so good looking. So I just did like survival stuff where you got to eat and drink and stuff like that. That's really all I wanted. So yeah, I can't wait to get into that. So thanks to you, I got it working.
You will. So
it was like 30 minutes. I was like, oh my god, yeah, amazing.
Let's get into our first topic here. Let's talk about this, okay? 4 years into this console generation. It's been 4 already, okay? Sony goes ahead and hikes the price of their PS5. Once again in Japan, making it $553 there. It's a 19% hike over there. Not only that, they also jump up in price with their PSVR 2, which, mind you, they're not even making anymore. But they're just getting rid of stock, but they're charging an extra $100, making the price of that thing $622.
Jeez.
Now, you got to remember this. Sony's been making profit off of each and every console sold. They've been making profit on it, but they need more. They want more. So I have a question for you guys. What do you think what do you think of this situation, number one? And what do you think this is going to do to the PS5 Pro? Because apparently Jeff Grubb is saying this PS5 Pro will be announced next month, and it should be coming out the end of this year. What do you think the price of the PS5 Pro is going to be based on what we're hearing with all these price hikes 4 years into this generation? Mav, I'm going to start with you.
Oh, man. The PS5 Pro, the enigma, that's been a point of conversation for a while where, is it real? Are they actually going to do this when they don't have any games announced really for their platform? And that's been conversation. You see the price increase now again in Japan for these consoles, and that raises the question, how much is this thing going to be? There was a lot of leaked specs that seemed expensive, right, before as well. Man, I don't know. I've been kind of questioning exactly how they're going to market it. But I'm thinking it's going to be anywhere between $600 and $700, probably $650 is what I would lean towards, because that's $200 more than the digital now, right? And I don't see them going down on that. I don't see them going down on prices at all. So I think they're going to price it $200 more than that one and roll it out and probably market it with a bunch of third-party games that they're going to try and sell some kind of, hey, this is the best place to play this game. This is the best place to play this game, right? And we'll see if it works, right? Yeah. What I'm hoping is they have that showcase, which people are speculating it's only going to be a state of play, which is weird, right? If we don't actually have a showcase. But I'm hoping we get a showcase where they actually announce some kind of a roadmap to get people excited for games to release on it. The upgrade, the price increase for the PSVR 2, that's just absolute insanity. I don't even understand.
Well, here's the problem, Mav. I said Mag. Oh, I did it. Mav.
It happens.
500. Okay, so if the PS5 in Japan now is $553, Colt in the chat is saying he thinks the PS5 Pro is going to be $600. Colt, why would it be only $47 cheaper or more expensive than the PS5? That makes no sense. It's definitely going to be at least $100 more. I cannot see this thing going for anything under $649.99. I don't know. That's the way I see it. I don't know, Mev. How much do you think it's going to be though?
$650. I think if I was to make a guess right now, $650 because. I think they're going to try and market it around $200 more than what the other digital console is that they have, right? And I think the PS5 Pro is going to be all digital, but it's going to have the ability to expand with a Blu-ray drive, like for extra, right? Like they do on the other one that they have now. So $200 more seems like would be something that can try and market. That would make sense for them. But I just don't know who the market's going to be for this time around, unless they have that big showcase where they actually reveal some cool stuff, But do they have it? All the rumblings are about stuff that's been going on with development behind the scenes. That PlayStation has not been good, so that's what I'm questioning. Is where are they with their roadmap for these games? Are they going to be able to market it enough to be able to sell as well as the PS4 Pro did? And I don't know if it's going to make as much sense for them this generation as last. But we'll see. If they do launch it this year, then that would probably, if they come out in 2027 with a new console, that gives them 3 years of a lifespan for the thing. So it would be enough of a lifespan to see some big games come out if they're actually announced. But right now, we don't have anything except for Wolverine.
True.
To really market it. I would imagine they would do Death Stranding 2.
There's got to be some sort of remaster, right? Some remaster they got to come up with. The Last of Us remaster of a remaster
The Last of
a
Us
master.
Part 2 remaster? Is that already happened yet? I forget.
Yeah, I think it has. Last of Us 2 remaster. I think it's happened.
Maybe Last of Us Part 2 remake now, because that would follow in the order.
Yeah. The remake remaster. We'll get that.
Right.
Yeah. For clarification, people, the PSVR 2 was halted in its production because of all the units that were unsold. So they're trying to get through all that, but still at $100 markup this September. So that's going to be pretty nice. Red, what do you think about this PS5 Pro? What do you think about this price hike in general? What's going on in the industry 4 years into this generation?
I have the perfect answer. No, I have no idea. No,
I have no idea.
So my question is this the price hike is only happening in Japan, right?
Currently.
So my question is, did they hike the price because it's selling really well? Because we see that a lot with all different kinds of, whatever.
I wouldn't say the PSVR 2 is selling really well, and that's gone up $100.
So are we talking about the PS5 or
both? PS5
both.
And PSVR 2 are getting price hikes.
Oh, then that is weird. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, I thought it was just the PlayStation 5 that was going up.
No, and they are citing, Sony is saying it's because of the economics of today right now, inflation, all that stuff. That's what they are explaining it as. Yeah,
and the fact, I don't think that I personally don't think that this is a sign of things to come with the PS Pro being even higher price than that. So if it stays within that region, I don't know. I just can't imagine a world where a console is almost $700. I'm not saying that it's not possible. I'm just saying right now,
I bought a 3DO for $700 back in the day.
It 100%, and it is getting there. I just mean for that drastic, that much of a drastic change in that short amount of time, because consoles are getting more and more expensive. And we're seeing peripherals in very small amount. So a peripheral for the Xbox would be a $250 1 terabyte storage device, which would essentially mean that you've almost already spent $800 on your console just for more storage. So if this means that these consoles are going to have more storage and whatnot, and have there's got to be something drastic for it to act, for the PS5 especially to launch, and it'd be
so it's supposed to be going with 2 terabytes, Red. They're saying it'll be a 2 terabyte.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we're
Well, there
looking
you
at
go.
least $650 to probably $699 even.
What-
I mean,
what
the
was
Xbox
price
is
difference
releasing
between-
the Xbox
What-
Series X is coming out this holiday at 2 terabyte at $600.
Oh,
Right. What was the
Wow.
price difference between the PS4 and the PS4 Pro by the time that they launched? I think the PS4 had already dropped down to
$100.
probably like
It was
it
$3 to
$100?
Hmm.
Okay.
$300 versus $400, if I remember right. I think that was the cost.
I just don't see that happening again. I don't know. Like if
Yeah.
I think it would be more.
And
of
that was a very
difference.
marginal upgrade. It wasn't the same
Yeah,
level.
yeah.
This is and
Right, but
the
and if you
problem we're
increase
running
that,
into is
the
like,
storage
shortages
is
of-
alone,
and-
yeah, expensive.
and then just the price escalation with the wars and whatnot. It's crazy.
yeah, Hargeet. Like with this price, I mean, what would you say? Like if you had to give it a guess.
Okay, so there's the Jim Ryan model, which is we want to kill Xbox, in which case you'd take a hit. I don't know that the Hiroki Totoki model says
No,
I'm going
he's
to
not that
pay
guy.
you to get this. So I think they want to profit right off the bat. And let's be honest, this is not for everybody. This is really for enthusiasts, right?
Yeah.
So
So
they're not
we're
gonna sell a
talking
ton of
between
these.
10 and 20% of all PlayStation
I don't even
gamers.
go. I don't think it goes 20%. I think like it'll be under 10%, something like that, right? But let's say they sell to those enthusiasts, they're gonna pay whatever you ask. Let's put it this way: when the PS5 came out, the scalpers bought them, right?
Yes.
So if you got a PS5, there's a good chance you paid a scalper probably north of $700-800 to go get it. They know this. They know this. So would it surprise you if they put it at $700?
No,
$750,
honestly, it
$800?
wouldn't.
The Xbox Series X literally is coming out this holiday at $600 for a 2 terabyte model. Right?
For the same
So-
specs. Same specs.
Same specs. So it's not going to be $600, folks. It ain't going to be $600. So it's going to be at least 100 more than that. So
And
you're
this
looking
is
at
internal
700.
storage, so it's not like it includes
That's
an external.
terabytes.
Wow,
No, internal 2 terabytes, and so I can't imagine it not being at least 700, right? And realistically, if it's anything substantial, it's going to be more than that. And look, they can say they don't really have that much competition, so whatever, we'll just charge you and make money, and you will pay. For those who want to buy it, they will pay.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. There's a super chat from.
Yeah, I see these super chats. Let me get to these real quick.
He's totally right, though.
3-bit first says, donating to play Concord Foundation. Please give your support today. Yes, please support Concord. Please.
His tweet
First of
today
all,
cracked me
as
up.
somebody
Yeah, Sarah
told me,
McLachlan.
yeah, we need that music for sure. As somebody told me on Twitter the other day, they told me to think of the developers and their families, and they have to provide for their families. And, I shouldn't be talking about games that are, maybe coming out broken or unfinished, because think of the developers and their families. No, sorry. I think of my wallet and what I have to pay for these games that aren't coming out in the shape they should be fucking coming out in. Stop it already.
Right.
It's ridiculous. And then we got a super chat here from Cult Classic Cage. What's up, Cass? She says, thank you for the super chat, by the way. $200 more for a pro model just to still be a console gremlin is wild. Yeah. Yeah.
Facts. Seriously, at this point, let's say it's $700, right? You have to then pay for online.
That's
How
right.
much are you spending on that versus a mid-range PC? And we were literally talking about this on Boom's show. You can spend $1,000 and get a Lenovo mid-range PC. Gives you probably more than double the performance of a PS5.
I got one better
And
than you.
Don't ever have to pay for online.
I got one better for you.
You get
There is a
discounts all over
computer.
the place.
This is more expensive, mind you, but this is a seriously decent rig for the price for a pre-built anyway. But you can
Yeah,
get a
it's pre-built,
4070 Super pre-built at Best Buy, and it's selling like hotcakes for $16.99.
Yeah,
What?
that's normal. But $1,700 you can
And
get.
it's got a 7800 XT 3D, top of the line CPU. It's got
Yep.
freaking
32 gigs.
4070, 32 gigs, 4070 Super.
Yep.
That's an amazing
Probably a
price.
terabyte SSD.
And you could buy this stuff. You could build it yourself for around $1,200. You could do that. The 4070 Super, all these components for $1,200. But if you just want a pre-built, $1,699 right there out the door. Best Buy.
But you can get a
Crazy.
pre-built Lenovo for $1,000 with a 4060 instead of 4070, and
Is
still
it the
have something in that same
4060
range.
with at least 12 gigs of VRAM, or is it the 8
So it'd be the
gigs?
TI, I think, right? That gives you the 12. I don't know, but I would have to look.
Because the 8 is no bueno. No bueno.
It's not good enough anymore.
Yeah, the 8 gigs of VRAM is.
But this is the thing, right? So you have to kind of figure that out and like see, if it's worth it or not. And at $700-800, look, this is going to be those PlayStation fans that are really diehards that just want to buy it, because I don't know what it realistically gives you. You're not going to get path tracing. You already have ray tracing. What is this really going to do for you? It's going to be an incremental upgrade. I don't know. Well, we don't know what the specs are. If it's substantially more, well, then you're going to pay substantially more, because I don't think they're going to subsidize it. I just don't.
No, I don't.
I think we're in a different world now.
Dude, Sony has traditionally wanted to put out their consoles and make a profit. Okay, that's just how they operate, and they're not going to go back on that. Especially with Hiroki Totoki. Okay, that guy, he is very business savvy, and he is about that profit. So I don't see them.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
It's going to be a tough sell, but I still think there's going to be a hardcore contingent that will just buy it just because. Just like there's a hardcore contingent that just bought PSVR 2 just because.
Of course.
Right?
Because
but it wasn't enough.
There's going to be those people that will be duped into thinking that every game is going to run 60 on it because it's a pro model and it's just going to be there. But tech is getting so freaking far ahead now that they are using things in these games now, and Wukong, Star Wars Outlaws included. They are using ray tracing and stuff to the point where it is crippling high-end PCs. I mean,
and that's probably more to do with like actually optimizing the game. But yeah, I get your point.
optimization is a thing, yes. But I'm just saying, like, they want to use these high-end features and stuff. It's going to cost your console for sure. It's going to hurt those frame rates for sure. And I think, man, it sucks. It sucks, but that's just the way it is.
So you don't think that the PS5 Pro is going to have a beast mode like the PS4 Pro did? Remember that? Isn't that what it was called?
The leaks, supposedly there's like a 10% CPU boost mode or something is what they're calling it. And instead of instead of the variable clock speeds, they have it like locked at the higher one. But then you can do a 10% boost above that, which is like one of the increases they've been touting. But everybody saying the bottlenecks have been CPUs this generation for consoles, doesn't scream to me that you're going to be able to accomplish a lot more frame rate wise.
Well, what they want to do,
highly demanding games.
What they want to do is push frame rates using frame generation. Okay, fake frames, like we do with DLSS on PC and stuff. The problem with that is if the frame rate is too low, like what's happening right now with Wukong on the PlayStation 5. The frame rates are hovering in that 30 FPS range, and they're trying to jack them up to 60 using frame gen, and it doesn't work. What it does is it makes you get so much latency, and this is something that a lot of people were complaining about. Well, I won't say a lot. Yeah. Some people that were being real about it were complaining about that performance mode, like Lord Addict, by the way, the Iron Lords. He said that when you push a button, you could feel the latency. It's not there. Like there were so many times he died because he would push a button and try to, drink a potion or do something, and it wouldn't work. And that is the issue with using frame gen on console. Frame gen works really well above 60 frames, really well, because the latency gets imperceivable. But at 30, 40 frames, you still feel it. It's there. So it's going to be a tough sell. Yeah. But they're going to also have their own proprietary frame gen. Who knows what Mark Cerny's going to come up with? He's going to build something that's quite nice and it's just going to work. Who knows? I
mean, we'll see. But they also are looking at better RT built into it. They're going to have their own pisser, the PlayStation Super Resolution, right?
Yep.
Pisser. I don't know what that does. We'll see. But they named it. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
That's what they call
Sony pisser.
Pisser. Wicked pisser. All right.
Get pissing with PlayStation this year for $6.99.
As far as price, I mean, Xbox also increased the price of the Xbox Series X and S, I believe, both of them in Japan.
Yep.
But the Series X is now $460 something, and the PlayStation.
But nobody's
5 is
buying
about
that there
90,
anyway, so
$100.
that's irrelevant.
Yeah, more.
It's irrelevant. Nobody's buying the Series X and S. in
And
Japan.
that's a fair statement. However, it is, certainly Xbox got the business for increasing the price as usual.
I don't know if you guys,
but their price is still substantially lower than their competitor.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard this, speaking of the PS5 Pro. So I read that there was a journalist, an Italian journalist, that was talking to some game developers at Gamescom. And they told him that they are slowing their production down on games to wait for the PS5 Pro.
PS5 Pro, yeah.
Now, I can't believe this because, look, in any sector of business you're in, time is money. And
Yeah,
I can't see you saying, hey, guys, slow down production because the PS5 is going to be around the corner. We want to build for that. And second of all, if the PS5 is around the corner, I mean, rumor had it, dev kits have been out for a while. So wouldn't they already have the specs?
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me.
So who
Unless they
reported
don't have
this?
enough dev kits.
It was like multiplayer.it. It's an Italian website.
Yeah, I think that's BS, man. Like, hold on, everybody, we're going too fast.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Stop.
We got the
Right.
PS5 Pro coming. It's gonna change everything. Like, no, it's
It's so dumb.
release an update for the PS5 Pro if you want to support it later. Like, if you're, like, we got to make sure we're there for day one of PS5 Pro because it's gonna sell hundreds of consoles. Like, it's like, yeah, it's not something that they're concerned about. I mean, they maybe want to support it, but you can do that after launch. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, you don't need to halt production and we can't come out before the Pro. We got to wait for it. And it's like, you have the specs for it already. Why don't you build for it? Like, that's why it didn't make much sense to me, that article. But
Yeah,
the only thing I
Take it
can
with a
see
grain
is
of
like if
salt.
there was, because of the requirement that PlayStation supposedly has that devs support it, right? Remember that's been going around. Like, if you release a game, you have to also have like enhancements for your like PS5 Pro version as well. That's what some have been reporting on. So if that's the case, and they're planning on launching after the PS5 Pro is out, maybe they need to make sure it's going to work. I don't know, man. Like, that's the only thing I can think of.
Exactly. Well, let's move on. Let's talk about something else since we're talking about Sony here. Okay, so Concord, a game that Firewalk Studios released, last week? Well, they failed to break through to most gamers, and it seems like nobody is really wanting to play this game. Okay, like nobody seems interested at all. Red Wolf, why aren't you giving these developers in Concord a chance? Why aren't you playing the game? It's your fault. Why aren't you playing it?
I tried. I said I tried to pre-order the PS5 Pro and got it on this website I've never heard of, and I trusted them, and I lost my money. And was
it PayUpPony? Is that the site? PayUpPony.com?
PayUpPony.com, but it's a 4 and a letter 4 and a number 4, and that's it. You got it. Is that your website, Hargeet? No, yeah. I feel like Concord. It's one of those things where I feel like for me, I just feel like the explanation is it's as simple as it's not doing enough in its genre to really elevate and grab people, because whenever people think about hero shooters, the first thing that comes to everyone's mind, of course, is Overwatch. And if it's not doing better than the one that set the trend, then why are people going to go out of their way to get something that is slightly different or adds and it's the same thing. I know we'll talk about Wukong, but it's like certain games in genres where there are so many genres that are becoming oversaturated, and they really have to go out of their way to do something really special. And I don't think, look at this game. Look how incredible it looks. Look at it. It's just
look at this big
look at that
fat guy you get to play as. Yeah.
Oh, look at the girl with the tail.
I can't wait.
Oh, look
Look
at her.
his
She's
haircut.
teleporting.
No.
Oh, it's just incredible. Yeah. So, but again, at first glance, it's like if Overwatch would have come out with like a big, massive expansion that just added a bunch of maps and a bunch of new heroes, what would have been the difference at this point? I don't know. And I'm not trying to be harsh, but like whenever we all watched the cinematic of this, okay, gosh, the character. Sorry.
Play has no limits.
Sorry, the character that you just showed got me. Whenever we all watched, I've never seen that character before. I did not know that was a real character in the game. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to just. So, Jim, just hang on. Just keep it together until the end of the show.
I'm going to give you more characters since you like that.
What the hell was I talking about? I'm so distracted by these characters. See, that guy looks kind of cool. Oh yeah, the cinematic trailer that we saw, it painted a completely different picture, and that was like a red flag right there. Same thing like with Dragon Age Veilguard. Really terrible marketing, really bad first impression, and it was not sold well at all. Now on the opposite side, Dragon Age is getting a lot of good reception because now we're actually seeing what it actually is. In Concord's case, we got a big cinematic trailer that looked like something akin to Guardians of the Galaxy, and then it turned out just to be just another hero shooter. And I feel like I don't know how much of a difference do you think it would have made if they had advertised this game, presented it right off the bat as a hero shooter? Do you think it would have made a difference? Like, what could have saved Concord?
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm
saying
asking
it like
you
it's already
guys.
said.
I've got some thoughts on it, but I'm gonna go to Mav. Mav, what do you think it is about Concord? What do you think it is?
Nobody just cares. I mean, why would they? Like, I mean, there's so many other hero shooters out there that play as good, or if not better, that already have huge fan bases. That people play every single day, and you're asking them to stop playing their favorite to go pay $40 for this game that's you don't necessarily really get excited about for any specific reason. It just kind of exists, right? From the start, when this was one of the games of service games that they didn't cancel, that they decided that they were going to keep making and push through and charge $40 for and all this stuff, is like, oh, this is dead out of the gate. Like, it's samey as other games out there. The setting, the style, the gameplay, it's just generic, right? And why make the thing that annoys me is like when these companies decide to like, hey, we're gonna make our version of that, right?
Yeah.
Instead of making their game, like instead of, hey, let's make something awesome that nobody else is doing, or let's bring back something that everybody else misses that they love. And PlayStation could do both of those things with what they have. Instead, they make something that is generic like this and is going to have trouble finding a fan base because everybody's already playing other games that are free, and they already have huge libraries of characters and all these other things, right? So you got to come out with something original, unique. That's kind of what Helldivers 2 did at launch. Like, it took off because, hey, people were excited to play something that was a little different and had that sense of humor as well, and all those kind of things. But this game is just not really for anybody, right? I mean, they're gonna, except for games media. That's the only. I feel like this is the only
Games
people that
media.
are
Nobody.
actually
They're not even playing it.
They're like talking about it like it's, even the IGN review was like, hey, this really looks like this could have some legs. And it's like, what are you reporting on? And all these games media people that are like, hey, I think we really should not dance on the grave of these games now when Concord is failing. But yet they have other articles where they will come out with an article 2 months after a game is out and is actually still successful, saying how bad it is, right? And it's like they want every game to fail unless it's the one that they love, or the one thing that's like a PlayStation franchise or something like that. It's like, we can't do this to them, not them. not them. We can do it to everybody else, but not these guys. I know people that work there. Okay, no, we're not going to do it to those guys. They pay our bills. They pay our advertising. We can't do it. Let's be nice to them, please. Let's give this game a chance. Let's give this game a chance.
It does
there's
seem
95 people playing it on Steam, and all of them are freaking games media people. I swear. Dude,
it does seem like the journalists are using kid gloves when they're talking about this game. It's like they're afraid to call it out for what it is, a flop.
Yeah, but they'll like trash all over actually good games, right? Like constantly for like a month or 2 months before it comes out and after. This game is like they just can't do it for some reason.
Yeah, one thing I want to say, I want to address Albert G in the chat. He said he thinks that this game's going to be successful in 6 months' time because the gameplay is so great, it's undeniable. You know what? That's a big contention with a lot of people. The game isn't doing anything outside of what other games in this genre are doing. It's not pushing the envelope at all, Albert. That and then you get on top of that, you get characters like this on the screen. Who wants to play with this lunchbox on her head? Like it. They made the most goofiest looking characters I've ever seen in a hero shooter, in any freaking multiplayer game. I have not seen characters look this freaking bad in I don't know in how long.
Can you go back a little bit to the one that?
Oh God, this thing! Like, what is even that, man? And then you got the grandma, which is probably the coolest one of all of them, to be honest. The grandma.
Oh boy!
But
is that the grandma right there?
No. But what is that? What is that?
Mr. Mushroom.
You know, like
I'm sorry. What?
The little the baked cheese things that you can get in salads. That's what it looks like. It's on her head.
Oh right.
It's like the fried.
That's
you know what I'm talking about?
That's right.
Yeah.
And then this is like, you got this one over here that's like I don't know. I can't even get it. Freaking thing won't work. Anyways, I'll just play, and you can just see all the characters. It looks like a Starfield reject, like something like Big Head mode in Starfield. It's so weird. The characters are terrible, and that's one of the reasons why people don't want to play this.
When they did all the concept art, who designed these characters?
I don't know. It doesn't exude freaking cool or anything with these characters. It's just so weird. And these just look like normal like NPCs you would come across in a game that you're playing randomly, and then you got this stupid freaking barrel.
Why is there a heart?
It's just weird. It's just weird. But yeah, the genre, it doesn't really push anything forward in this genre. This game doesn't do anything different. It doesn't. It's got a lot of similarities to Overwatch. Matter of fact, a lot of the abilities and stuff are ripped right out of Overwatch. So people already have Overwatch. Why are they going to play? Look at this guy. He's the freaking worst. The freaking worst, in my opinion.
The hair.
Why?
Great.
Why do you want to play a guy with goggles and?
Why is he wearing? He's wearing orange gloves, a puffy jacket, goggles for some reason, but he's just chilling. He's just hanging out, not a care in the world. He's just happy to be here and kill people.
Yeah, it's so weird. That's Daw, by the way. That's Daw. He's amazing. Okay. According to Albert G, he's amazing. Gameplay is freaking amazing. You guys just don't know, man. I know people that played it. It's not amazing. It's not amazing at all. They played the beta. They did not buy the game, by the way, mind you, because it wasn't amazing. And I don't see how anybody could look at it and say this is going to be better. Hargeet, I mean, your thoughts on this game? Why aren't people playing it, man?
Well, a lot of the things you said, right? We saw in the beta, like the games that are in this genre are all free to play. I mean, I guess I should first do the comedy bits.
Who's playing that?
Me.
Oh man.
Look, I don't know I think it started with Sony. I believe they started this game with Sony, but I'm not sure about that piece because it said they were making this game for Sony before they were bought. So this game was in development for 8 years. They started this game when Overwatch came out, so they kind of tried to clone that. 8 years of development later, this is kind of what you got. Now, you can say some of the cutscenes are pretty impressive, fair enough, but the reality is that's not what people are going to play in a hero shooter. They want a couple of rounds of fun. I hear the gameplay is somewhat good if it gets fixed, but the problem is like it doesn't resonate with anybody, and it is a paywall. Now look, they could get rid of the paywall. They could do something with PS Plus. They could finally make it free to play. I still don't know. Like, it's, you have to overcome the fact that there are games that people are already playing, and you started out with no resonance at all with anyone. Nobody wanted this. That's just not, like, I don't know if I've ever seen a game, a AAA level game, that's had this few players. It's just it's an unbelievable failure.
So what they're saying that Sony's bound to lose, they're projected to lose 200 million on this title. Because
easily. I don't know how much the marketing has been, because they've paid people to, like, the numbers you're seeing that are concurrent players. That's actually the streamers they're paying to stream this freaking game. That's how low it is. Okay, it's bad. If they just like said, Sony development team, take the week off and go play this game, they'd have 5,000 people playing it. But they didn't even do that. This is sad. I bet you like half the players are firewalked themselves.
No doubt. No doubt. And then I'm sure you've got some journalists in there trying to pump up, do what they can.
Yeah, and it's...
but here's the thing about the journalist thing, though, Hargeet. Did you see that article that said that, and somebody on Twitter posted this as if this was a big win for Concord. They said, guys, most of the players aren't on Steam. They're on PlayStation 5. It's currently number 42 on the charts on PlayStation 5. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. And then we said, so then I talked to Colt, and Colt told me, what's number 42 on Xbox right now? He goes, freaking The Division 2 from 2018. I said, that's how relevant this game is right now. And The Division 2 has more people playing it than Concord.
That comparison where he did the whole ranking thing just doesn't make any sense, because you're ranking, he wasn't ranking how many players, he's ranking where it is according to the amount of people playing compared to other games, where he's comparing it to Steam, which has this massive library of tons of games that aren't even on PlayStation as well, right? So like there's just so many more games, and there's always going to be more discrepancy there. If it has more players on PlayStation, it's like a fraction. Like
so you want to know why there are players on PlayStation? There's a difference. So when this thing started, there was a beta. To play the beta, you had to buy the game. Now on Steam, you can return it. On PlayStation, you cannot. So if you bought the game, for those several thousand people who did, you're stuck with it.
True.
You might as well play it. So that increased number is, again, bullshit. Nobody bought it. It's the people who bought the beta. They're the ones playing it. So that number isn't like it's hundreds of thousands of players. It's like 2,000 players.
And I want to be
the people who bought this game.
I want to be honest. I didn't want to see this game fail. I'm not looking to see games fail. That's not my, go-to. I'm not against PlayStation in any way. But did I like the look of these characters or the game itself initially? No. I personally didn't think it was going to do well based on that stuff. And it sucks that my thoughts came true, but it is what it is. I mean, Albert, are you playing the game? Because you're sitting here saying it's so great and everything. Are you supporting this game? Are you playing it? Are all your friends playing it with you? Because honestly, it doesn't seem like anybody's really supporting it. I'm going to get to this super chat. BT Maverick 707. Thank you for the 5. He says, gaming media is really showing their true colors this week with the kid gloves for Concord, PC Gamer hypocrisy, VGC having Dreamcast guy on their show. laughing emoji. Yeah, that was weird. The whole VGC
Is that a topic?
thing. No, it's not a topic. But I don't talk about Dreamcast guy around these parts. I'm neither friend nor foe. Like he's irrelevant to me. I don't care for his stuff. So just don't talk about him. I think that's the best course of action with people you don't know and don't care to watch. Just don't even mention them. Yodani Casada with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Yodani. He says, Overwatch, ? I'm overwatching these characters on my screen already. Some of these characters look like they are in a local improv group together. Exactly. They look like they had, that's exactly it. Like there's like an improv box. And it was full of different clothes, and they all picked out different clothes and put it on. And go, I'm a superhero, and that's what it looks like. You're 100% right about that, Udani. Spot on, spot freaking on, dude. Thank you for that, by the way. I appreciate that because you're right. Somebody said Hargeet lying again. Hargeet, you're lying again. What is he lying about?
Always lying.
Oh, Albert G says, Fonz, I'm a troll. I only have girlfriends, no gamer friends. That's right. Albert G, he's a guy that said that he has plural girlfriends. Not girlfriend, girlfriends. He likes to play. He wants to get that Mpox, or whatever else he wants out there. He wants some other disease. I don't know. Spread it around a little. Anyways, yeah, so Concord's not doing well. I don't see the game doing well in the future, and it really sucks. But you know what else might not be doing very well?
Oh,
and
F off, Andrew, you piece of crap.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Oh, that guy.
Dude,
that's
I know
why.
they did that because the fucking beta players didn't show up. There was nobody playing it when they asked to fucking pay for it. So then they opened it up to PSN Plus players. And then they decided, that ain't enough because nobody played it then. They gave it to everybody. And nobody showed up. So shut it.
I didn't realize it was Andrew Wilkins. Yeah, Andrew Wilkins is a big-time troll. But you know what other game is not doing very well, apparently, and it's not even out yet? Marathon by Bungie. Unfortunately, development hell, and also, apparently, the Marathon director was fired from Bungie, by the way, because of inappropriate conduct. Apparently, he was bothering a lot of lady friends at work. And sucks to suck, but that's what happens. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. The man has no job. Yeah, I don't know. Marathon might not be freaking doing very well. And also, we're hearing that Marathon changed from a what was it? Extraction shooter to a hero shooter. Like,
God.
What are you doing?
Here we go.
What are you chasing?
So it's going to be another Concord because it's
another Concord.
That's what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
Possibly.
And then they have Fair Games coming out, which is also kind of a similar theme.
Right.
It's like futuristic and stuff. Like,
the only thing
I don't know.
Yeah, the only thing that could save like a new hero shooter is, honestly, if you push the genre at all, maybe abilities and stuff, or you have compelling characters, actually compelling characters, not like the ones that are in Concord that the IGN reviewer said was compelling. In his review, he said, there's 16 compelling characters. And I'm like, there's not one compelling character. So there's a game coming out, the Marvel game that's a hero shooter. Looks phenomenal, and people that played it says phenomenal, and that's because they can relate to the characters from the comics. They're excited to play as these characters. Gee, imagine that. Have
and they'll
compelling
have the
characters
real
and people
Guardians
will
of the
play.
Galaxy.
Yeah, not the fake
the real
ones in
Guardians of the
Concord.
Galaxy.
Yeah, really. So it's just interesting, and I mean, who said it? I forgot who said it. It could have been. I don't know, it was somebody on Iron Lords, I believe, but they said, yeah, if they would add like PlayStation characters into Concord, it could have made it better.
It was Addict, right?
Addict might have said it, yeah.
Good idea.
So
yeah,
it makes sense if you did something like that. Just you've
something-
got a
something creative and
plethora of
fresh.
characters in the Sony library that you can use for a game like that. But no, instead, freaking lunchbox helmet woman and fat guy with coat and dishwashing gloves. Just the most insane characters. I don't know. Sad. It's sad, but
Yeah.
But yeah, now Marathon, who knows what's going to happen there. And I don't really want to talk too much about the inappropriate conduct. We all know what that is. That's bad. Don't do it, kids. You know, Albert G, you really, honestly, yeah.
You should stop that.
Stop that. Just stop it. Stop it. Anyways, Black Myth Wukong dropped last week as well. And I started playing, and I talked about it on the show that I started playing it and stuff. But the deeper I got into this game, okay, I want to give you a small little review. I did one on Twitter. I enjoyed the game. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was amazing. Could have been amazing, but there was things that kept me from really escalating it to that level or giving it a big, amazing score. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. I was at an 8.5 until I got to the last chapter, and it just fell apart for me, both in performance and in level design. The level designs throughout the whole game are a mess, in my opinion, but there's reasons for that. Number one, invisible walls. Okay, invisible walls are a thing in most games, which I get, but in Wukong, the way they're laid out is so sporadic and inconsistent that you don't know which is going to be an invisible wall or which isn't, and you'll be walking and you'll try to go somewhere it looks like you can just walk off into, but then you're hit with that wall. But then there's other points in the same level where you can walk off, and you're like, wait a minute, so I got to run around to explore, knocking myself up against the invisible wall to find a way to get through. That's not a cool level design. That is freaking horrible. Horrible.
I remember doing that in Fable. Remember the original Fable games? Like, oh, is this like a path I can go to?
Yeah.
And it looks like you can run into the woods, but there's nothing physically there to block you except for the invisible wall.
But mind you, until I got to chapter 6, I still had an 8.5, even with the invisible wall issue. I was like, whatever, I'll deal with it. It kind of hampers exploration or makes it less exciting anyway, because you're running into invisible walls and it just looks stupid, breaks immersion. The game, combat's fun, all that. But when I realized, by the time I got to chapter 6, there were several things in chapter 6 alone, and I'm not going to spoil anything. It opens up quite a bit though, okay? There's no mini map. A lot of people laughed at me for saying this, but a lot of people complained about this too. I've looked it up since, and other people have said the same thing, or there's no map marker or anything. So you don't know where to go exactly. Okay, so you're kind of lost a little bit. And I admit, I was lost in chapter 6. I was pretty lost. But it wasn't just that. It was the performance issues really took a dive in the late chapter 4, chapter 5, chapter 6. It was getting pretty bad. Frame rates tanking, frame timing was horrible. Lots of stuff there. But aside from just, going there, not having a mini map or some type of map marker or something, it was also the fact that the game itself, I saw through a lot of the cracks in the game. And I just started to feel like this game isn't as special as it could have been, because there's a lot of epic moments, but there's a lot of moments where you're just like, by the end of it, you feel like, okay, all this crafting I did, all this going and hunting for the cool armor or crafting towards that armor really doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make that much of a difference. Now, the drinks and the potions and stuff that you can make, that can make a difference. That can make you a lot stronger. But the actual weapons and the actual freaking armor you get is kind of lackluster. Some of it may look cool, but it really is, it's negatable. You don't need that stuff by the end. You could play through the whole game and just play with the, your base freaking stuff that you got and just drink stuff and everything, and you'll be fine. And I just thought it was like, why have all that if it's not really necessary? It didn't really push things. So at the end, I was just like, you know what? Good game, solid title. It's got issues, but I'm still looking forward to what Game Science does next because of this game. Because for a first outing, this was a pretty good game for them. So I'm looking forward to whatever they come out with next. But I don't know if you guys played Wukong. Did you guys try it? I know Hargeet hasn't. You haven't, Nav?
I haven't tried it.
I'm not really super into the action hack and slash kind of beat your head up against a wall against bosses kind of games, you know. So
I get
it looks
it's
cool,
hard.
but eventually I will probably get it on PC when it's cheap, like at some sale down the line at some point. But because I want to still try it because it's supposed to be a really good game. But for me, it just doesn't like scream something I have to play right now.
Yeah,
you know.
No, you don't have to play it right now. And I will tell people, if you're on the fence still and you don't know whether or not to buy it, don't right now. It is not ready for prime time. This thing should have been delayed. And I know I've got Danny Passion in the chat who loved the game, gave it a 9 out of 10. And that's your prerogative, Danny. I would not argue with you on how you feel about the game. But I'm telling you, with the issues it has, based on performance alone, it should have been delayed. And the reason why I keep to this, and people keep telling me, I ain't got no problem with my copy. Mine runs great. No matter if they're on PS5 or a high-end PC, this is what they tell me. And I know they're lying because Game Science themselves, there's several articles with them saying, yes, we know there's problems. It's going to take a while to fix. If Game Science tells you that themselves, I'm not lying about it. You are. You're the ones that are lying if you're saying you have absolutely no issues. Maybe you don't have issues with frame rates tanking. You can deal with it in a game, but that doesn't negate the fact that there's problems there. Okay, just because you can deal with it doesn't mean it's not a problem. And I think
maybe there are some people that are just used to they're just like used to frame drops, and then they're like, what the heck was that? And then they just get over it immediately, and they just enjoy the game anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and but again,
that's the game.
Because the game was good and it had such epic moments, especially the opening. I give total credit to Game Science for delivering on a product that could have been amazing, but it was still a good experience. And I look forward to what they do next. But honestly, I wish they would have just delayed it. I wish they would have delayed it so it could have been something that was just epic, man, the whole way through. But yeah, that's my little review of Wukong. But it's an honest one, and but
how many hours, Fonz?
20. I only did 26 hours, and
okay,
I say only. Yes, I say only because people tell me, "Oh, I'm 50 hours in and I'm not even through chapter 4." It's like, yeah, I realize
never
that
matters, man.
But look, you are jumping on a lot of invisible walls. You're looking for stuff. I get it. Exploration's great, but for me, that kind of pissed me off. Exploration is not fun when I'm jumping in invisible walls. You know who does exploration right? You know who does it right? FromSoft.
Bethesda.
FromSoft does exploration the right way.
They do.
Okay. Yeah. It's amazing, and it makes it enticing to go look for stuff because you're finding stuff around each corner. With Wukong, even when you do find a secret boss, again, it's just another boss. You go through bosses every 5 minutes in Wukong. It's nothing like, oh my God, I found it.
Yeah.
No, it's just another boss.
Dude, I mean, Elden Ring, I remember specifically going through the castle and you're like, can I jump on this ledge? Oh, I can. And then you would creep along the ledge and then it's like the devs knew that someone was going to try to do something silly like this. And there was a secret chest in that area after, like, and I could go on, but yeah, FromSoft does such a
by the way,
incredible job with that.
Update on the Xbox version of Wukong, in case you haven't heard it. Game Science has also said that it is delayed indefinitely for the Xbox consoles because of a memory leak. There's that.
What does that mean? Is this another Series S thing?
So apparently there's this memory leak in how it was explained to me is as you're playing the game, the memory builds up and builds up and builds up. And it keeps building up to the point where like your game will freeze, it'll crash, the frame rates will really tank and stuff. It's not good.
Gotcha.
And I have a sneaky suspicion, and this is where people are going to hate me here, especially Hargeet, that the Series S has a lot to do with that because of its low VRAM. Because I will tell you, as I'm playing Wukong, I can bring up Afterburner and see how much VRAM is being used, and it uses all that 10 gigs of VRAM. It uses 10 gigs of VRAM, and that's basically what the Series S has. allocated to games. 10 gigs.
Which sounds like it has the same memory leak on the PC side as well. Look, memory leaks are something
It's
they should be able to
it
fix,
happens.
so.
It's not uncommon, but it's something that takes a while to fix. And it could
It's
be
just-
happening on both the PC and the PS5 version. Hargeet?
It's just an unoptimized game.
It's
And,
unoptimized.
Like overall, like optimization has become a low priority. It seems like in development, they even with the Avowed developers in that interview, like, yeah, we worry about that last. Don't worry about it. Like, yeah, we're okay, you know. And it's like, yeah, we kind of want our games to run good too, guys. You know, I don't know. It's just kind of an interesting thing that I would like as a gamer to be a little bit confident about a smooth, nice experience. But you can tell that, you know, that they obviously kind of, I saw somebody in the chat said they brute forced it. Yeah, they kind of brute forced this game to do everything they wanted to, and they're trying to optimize it. And, you know, I think that for most of these developers, especially them, like being where they're located and who their audience is, and China and everything, where a lot of the players are, just I think the Xbox is a low priority for them, especially on the optimization end of the spectrum.
That's true too.
They'll just kind of save it for last, and they probably were like, hey, we're so far behind on optimizing on PC, we're so far behind on optimizing on PlayStation, are we really gonna even try and get this thing running on the other consoles? But when they really
they
do
should
focus
fix it first.
Yeah,
They should just
yes,
fix it
100%.
first, yeah.
It should have been delayed in general. Maybe they couldn't afford to delay it anymore. I don't know. We don't know what their situation is, right? But yeah,
At least fix it
overall,
now,
like, yeah, they can't fix it now because it's sold like hotcakes, right?
No,
But, like,
at least just fix it now. They should just go fix it now.
Danny, you're not going to do that to me. Danny Passion in the chat says, if you didn't beat this guy at the opening of the game, you didn't finish the game. You know what? I loathe. I'm going to tell you guys this. I loathe this new trend of games that say, oh, no, you got to go get the secret ending. No, when credits freaking roll, I'm done with the fucking game, all right? I'm tired of this freaking. No, I'm tired of this bullshit that's coming out in games lately. That's like,
you don't want to have the second part
5,
after the
6
credits.
endings that you have to do. No, you got to do one. You roll credits, you're freaking done. I don't want to hear it. I'm tired of this shit, man. Tired of these games doing this. Like, I'm okay with different endings and having that choice, but you can't tell somebody you didn't really beat it because you didn't beat this ending. And to get this ending, you have to secretly go to this cave and touch this guy in this region. And
oh, hey,
no,
What's going on?
No,
what are we doing?
I'm not
I don't
doing
want to
it.
get that ending.
What's going on?
I don't want that.
I'm not doing it.
Don't make me do that to get the ending.
Yeah,
it's a bad
I'm not
game.
doing it.
No,
you get credits, you beat the game. All right.
It's a bad cave. I don't want to go there, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, as far as memory leaks, this is so I don't know how often this happens in game studio development. It's like, so normal programming, you do a bounds checker against, so you basically check for every time you're doing a check-in, you check to make sure it doesn't have memory leaks. Okay, so that's not something that's difficult. That just is part of normal build process, right? We check to make sure your code is clean. In the case of game development, it's a little different, right? Because you're using UE, which then under the covers goes in and builds the actual application, the game, right? So they may not go into this, C code and C# code and actually do a check to see if the actual build is good, right? So they might have done something that maybe UE just messed up. And so they have to go figure out what it is. Now, this is maybe beyond their capability. Maybe it is. Maybe they need to go hire somebody that understands the actual code and can, do the right stuff there and fix it. Or maybe work with UE and figure out what the hell did they do that caused it to break, right? So
everybody who is out there getting mad at me for giving it a 7.5 as well, that's still a good score.
That's in line, by the way. That's not far off.
Here's the thing.
81, right? Or something like that? 81, 82?
On PC, but on the PlayStation, it's only a 71. So I'm giving it a bigger score than freaking PlayStation reviewers. So, yeah, and PlayStation guys are the number one guys. They're the number one culprit telling me, it's fine on my console. It's perfect over here. No, bullshit. You have latency up the ass on the performance mode. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And this has been said time and time again by so many different people that I know and I trust. Okay, there are issues on the PlayStation 5 version as well. Speaking of new games, let's talk about Star Wars Outlaws. It's out. It's getting a 77 currently on OpenCritic. Mav, I know you've played it a bit. Caught you streaming it last night, but I'll get to you in a second. Red Wolf, inquiring minds want to know, is this protagonist a shape-shifting reptilian, or is this just an artist's rendition of the woman of his dreams with sharp cheekbones and a wide jawline? What is it?
Jango Fett's sidekick in Attack of the Clones. That's her. It's that chick. It's I can never. Guys, nerds in the chat.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Anyway, yeah. So So I will preface this by just saying the negative stuff first. I got this game. I'm playing this game on Ubisoft Plus. It's the first time that I was like, you know what? This is going to be my, and I know a lot of people who have done that. I got a good friend of mine who's doing the same thing. So I started the game on Ubisoft Plus because I'm skeptical about it, because in Star Wars, where you're in the criminal underworld, the underbelly, the dirty underbelly, I feel like a character should be a little experienced, should be a little gritty, should be a little not like a whoopsie and whimsical and ditzy and whatnot. Aside from the way that she looked when we first saw her versus the way that her real life character, the actress looks and whatnot aside, the faces in this game do look very strange sometimes. It looks like it's like the layer of it's like whenever they go into like prosthetics for oh god, look at that. That's her?
This is the actress that
what
plays.
What the fuck happened, man?
There she is. There she is, people. Look. A beautiful Venezuelan lady here. Okay. Very classy, very beautiful. And they turn her into that.
Actress, not the voice actress.
They turn her into this mongoloid. I don't know what.
McGruber. I'm sorry.
It's not good. It's not good.
It's very. That's crazy. Well, I will say, aside from me being totally distracted all the time by the terrible facial animations, I will say that I'm really not digging the character in the setting of Star Wars. So, like, we have the underbelly, the criminal underbelly of the underworld of Star Wars that we've wanted to see for so long, and we have this character who is very like, oh, whoopsie, did I do that? She has like this very like just stumbling success is the word that I've been using, where she's like just happening to succeed at things by like the seat of her pants, flying by the seat of her pants. And it's really, it's not, I'm not like buying into it. Like I would like someone who is, trying to, make their way in the galaxy in Star Wars and trying to be someone instead of just like this someone who obviously doesn't belong. And I could go on and on about her character, but aside from that, everything that I've experienced in the game has been, the game looks incredible. The environments are beautiful. The combat is okay. The combat isn't like groundbreaking. I know a lot of people are saying it feels like The Division. I'm like, well, I don't feel that. It just feels like a third person shooter, I guess. I don't know. It feels a little, it feels adequate. It feels good. There are cool little things like your little companion can like pickpocket, and the reputation system with different factions, like where you could side with all these different criminal syndicates and whatnot. That kind of stuff is really cool. But honestly, like, I am really struggling with the main character, and it's not about her face. It's not about her face.
No, it's not always. You're giving good critiques here about the game, and it's not about a way a character looks, but that does count for a lot of gamers out there when they're playing a game. I'm sorry, but it doesn't matter if it's a male or female character. People want to play characters that are at least somewhat attractive. Why?
Okay, yeah.
Because we just want that. Like, You don't see like, movie stars out there. That's why they get these beautiful people to be movie stars and stuff. They're paying them the big bucks.
Well, we just saw what happened with Concord, and it's almost like the video games nowadays. Not to get.
I'm taking my gloves off when it comes to this kind of stuff anymore. I don't care, talking about this stuff anymore. It's obvious there's a problem with a lot of Western developers. Okay, not all of them, because we saw with Xbox and Hellblade, Ninja Theory with Hellblade 2, Melina Jurgensen looks just like her character in the game. Perfect. Like it's amazing. It's 1-to-1. But with a lot of games like this game, obviously it's not 1-to-1. It's crazy. And then like even going to Wukong, we just talked about Wukong. Look at the actresses and look at their characters in the game. Spot on.
Oh, wow.
Spot on. Why do we have issues like that? It makes no sense.
That's crazy. Wow. Yeah.
I'll tell you why. They're doing it on purpose. They're doing it on purpose. I don't care. Gloves are off. It's obvious what they're doing. I look at games like freaking Jedi Survivor, and the character looks just like the guy in the game. You know what I'm saying?
Even the female character, the who is not like, she's like an alien race of some kind in that game, you can still tell that it's her. She just has a different shade of skin. She's got like gray skin with like some tattoos on her face, but you can 100% still tell that it's her. She looks great. I think we talked about Concord. Like I was going to say a second ago, I feel like a lot of these games are, it's so hard to talk about, but like, I feel like a lot of these games really just want people to feel included, because not everyone is this beautiful model actress, whoever they modeled this character after.
Of course, we're not, and I don't want to play myself in a game. I want to suspend disbelief and be a badass in a game. Yes. Okay,
when I create my character,
it's stupid.
I'm not creating,
it's dumb.
Exactly. Whenever I create a character in a game, I'm not creating a bald guy with a stupid sunglasses on his fucking head.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not making
like
me
F
in the
you.
game.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, no. I get it. I definitely get that side to it for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
No. Look, I'm just saying it's weird, but so you're enjoying the game somewhat, though, the gameplay and stuff.
Yeah, it's just, it really, and again, I love Star Wars so much, and like the games have been really spot on. I love Jedi Survivor so much because it does have like that great mix of Star Wars it does such a great job. When it does it well, it does a really great job of having this underlying hopeful feeling, but it's still really dark, and it has, a vibe of like bad things can still happen. So far in this game, it doesn't feel like anything bad is going to happen, and it really comes down to the character's attitude. And that's really just putting me off, because if we're going to be an outlaw, and I said this to, I was texting Colt and Holly earlier, and I said, I really hope that this game turns into a franchise where it's Star Wars Outlaws 2 and Star Wars Outlaws whatever. And it becomes like a thing where we play as different outlaws, because if they have a great framework, they have an amazing foundation with this reputation system, and like all the mechanics in the game are, it's great, but it really, the character just seems so out of place for me so far. But I am going to keep playing it, but it just, for someone who is supposed to be like an anti-hero, she is not it. And it's not clicking for me. But again, I'm not giving up on it. I'm not going to stop playing, but I'm hoping that it'll click. I've had someone tell me, keep playing, dark stuff happens, there's character development. Who knows? But that's my take on it so far, and I'm just a couple hours in. So yeah, I'm not giving up on it, but that's just my take on it so far.
Well, thank you for that. Mav, you've been playing. I saw you play a little bit last night. How is it for you?
Yeah, I've put in like 90 minutes. So far, I'm also playing from Ubisoft Plus, which is props to the service. It's like the day and date games on a subscription. I always find it weird when you say, hey, I'm playing this Ubisoft Plus, and somebody's like, I buy my games. It's like, cool, man. Right on.
I know. I'm all good with these subscriptions.
Yeah, like, that's awesome. But yeah, I'm playing that way and get early access and everything. So far, like, for the character thing, everybody's talking about, first off, I'll just give my thoughts on that. Like, I don't really care too much. It hasn't been that much of a distraction or anything like that for me. The thing I did notice is that more than it's just like it seems like they tried to make her like unattractive. It seems like there's actually something weird going on within the engine, because she looks different all the time. Like the facial animations, actually, you said they made the joke about shape shifting, is like depending on what you're doing and all stuff, you can really see.
Do you know where I got that shape shifting from? Watching your stream last night, because I noticed her face changed in different angles, lighting.
Yeah, like you can see it all looks different, and sometimes she looks normal and fine or whatever, and sometimes
completely different. Yeah,
and then in the cutscenes, which are beautiful, by the way, like just overall the graphics and the cutscenes, which opens up to an awesome cutscene, and then later there's some really cool ones, really cinematic and stuff. They kind of take you into it. It's kind of immersive, but you can tell this is a polished actual cutscene experience. Like the characters look way improved and different in those cutscenes, right? So then you go back into the regular game, and it's like, okay, normal stuff. But I think I've been laughing because even in our DMs, like people will take screenshots or they've been posting on Twitter or whatever, and we'll share them in our DMs about these different shots that people are getting of these like morphed faces and stuff. And like and several of them, because of the hair, because of the jacket stuff, I think she looks like MacGruber in a lot of the shots and stuff like that. So I've been like dying laughing in some of those. God. But for the most part, like I think the character's fine. I don't really care about that. For the whole thing in general with Western devs, and I think it just depends on the game, and overall, maybe there's some agendas out there and stuff like that. But it's not something I ever like really care so much about.
It's not even just like women or whatever. It's because if you look at Concord, it's even the male characters there. You need characters in your game that speak to people, attract people in some way. I mean, Wukong, he's a freaking monkey dude, but he was a badass. Like he appealed to you because he was cool. He was a badass, and he kicked ass. Like it was cool. I don't see that from this character at all. Like there's nothing about her that screams cool or anything, and that is a problem.
Yeah. So what I've liked so far is like, it's kind of like grabbing you. And sorry, I like had a coughing attack, but it's like kind of grabbing you and taking you into like a typical Star Wars adventure, right? So like I feel like I'm
Star Wars of today. Yeah.
It is very Star Wars of today. It's very Disney Star Wars, right?
Yeah. That is. Hargeet will love it. Yeah. He'll buy it.
That is apparent from the get-go.
Day 5.
Which I'm okay with it as long as it's fun and it's got a good story. I think there's a lot of comparisons with gameplay wise because of Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order, right? It's not that kind of game, whatsoever. Like those games is more about the moment-to-moment action of like combat and stuff, where this game is more about an adventure story kind of game where you're going from places, and it's more about kind of immersion of the world you're in and things like that. And it's got a lot of different gameplay varieties and stuff. I notice a lot of typical tropes that I kind of get annoyed and I wouldn't say annoyed, but
it's Ubisoft. There's going to be tropes.
And not even just with Ubisoft, but like there's the whole squeezing between rocks. There's the whole like, hey,
Wukong's got that too. Yeah.
Random yellow boards on a wall you got to grab to for some whatever reason. This is the way to go. There's yellow boards attached to a wall that you got to grab. Stuff like that just is kind of like overused gameplay elements in games these days. But it's not just that game that does it. Like every game does it. Here, let's climb for the sake of climbing. Right here, let's have this hidden loading screen squeezing between the rocks. Like it's just, I would like for these companies to find some more creative ways to mix up the gameplay instead of using these same things over and over and over again with their designs. But overall, like I'm really kind of into the story. I'm into the mix that they're giving me. Like there's stealth, there's action, there's riding the speeder and stuff like that was fun. Getting to the first like other town area that I went to. The other characters that you meet and stuff are cool. I like seeing the cities feel like lived in and dense, and like you can hear conversations and people are doing things, and it's cool to kind of go up to and see what's going on. they have like these mini games and stuff. Like they have like these card games. You have jukeboxes, and you have there's other you can bet on races and stuff like that. So there's like this kind of like lived in world feel to it that I'm enjoying so far.
That's good.
But I'm only 90 minutes in, so I'm gonna see where it takes me. I'm to the point now where it's going to open up even more, and I think that's where a lot of the bugs and stuff people are experiencing are probably going to come in. So we'll see if I experience those. I haven't had any yet.
I heard there was a bug that if you played this game early, there was like a game-breaking bug that could happen to you, and if it did, they patched it out, but you would have to start over to get rid of the bug.
Yeah, that's like on a PlayStation thing, right?
Oh, that's terrible.
I don't know. If
like
it's just
start over the
PlayStation,
like redo
yeah,
your
start
save,
over.
you mean?
Yeah. So if you played like 8 hours, you were screwed.
That's fucked.
Yeah, that's I also, like you guys, I downloaded it through Ubisoft Plus, but I haven't even touched it yet. The reason being, I don't have desire to. Like, there's no desire there that I'm like, I gotta play this. Like, I watched your stream last night to see if it can get me into it, Mav, and it didn't. I was sitting there going, man, I don't know if I could do this. One thing that I don't like in games, much of anyway, it depends on the game, but I don't like the stealth in this game, the way it looks and what you got to do and stuff. The stealth aspects don't look fun. I don't know.
I was actually having fun when I was playing it. I was actually having fun with those, but I will say in general, it's just very easy so far. Like I didn't mess with the difficulties or anything like that, but like you can tell this game is not meant to really challenge you or anything. It's more about just experiencing the journey of the adventure that they're trying to take you on. And for me, honestly, like playing this kind of game, I actually find that relaxing, and I'm kind of into that because I can like, hey, I'm gonna kick back, relax, play, and experience the story, kind of explore, hang out in these cities and stuff like that. And that's the vibe I'm getting from it, and that's what I'm enjoying about it. Right. But if I'm looking for this to deliver like this amazing gameplay experience of like moment to moment action, where I feel like that my combat is like I feel like a badass and all this other kind of stuff, it's not going to give you that. It almost feels like so far it feels like a Star Wars ride at like a amusement park. It's kind of being carried through it, and I'm just kind of doing these like different moments of gameplay elements. It's like, here, do this now. Do this now. Do this now.
Sounds very Disney. Sounds very Disney.
It is.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know. I'll try it. If I can pry my hands away from playing Red Dead 2, I'll try it. But
I'm with you though, Fonz. I really had to force myself into like. I'm like, why am I so like? I've never felt like I've had to. Force
I'm never
myself
like apprehensive about a new game.
Yeah.
Like usually, if I download it, it's because I want to play it. But this one, I'm like, do I really like? I don't know.
Yep.
But
I was like so close.
I could like it.
Yeah, and
I don't know.
I was like really close at one point to like downloading. I was like, F it. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna download Ubisoft Plus and just download the game. And then like when I got close to doing it, I was like, never mind, I really don't want to play this. And then later on I ended up doing it, obviously, but then like as I'm playing it, I'm like, there's something that it's just not connecting with me. But it still feels forced. It's really uncomfortable trying to like force yourself to like something, and it's not happened in a long time for me. So yeah, I'm with you.
Hargeet, I know you're not playing the game, and you won't play the game. He doesn't like he doesn't like his females with a strong masculine chin. He just does not, and I'm okay with that. I get it. I totally relate. I know it's Star Wars for you, but let's go ahead. Let's move along because we got a few more topics, and I just want to get through these so we can get out of here because it's late for you guys for sure, especially Red Wolf. It's pretty late over there, isn't it?
It's 2 a.m. No, I'm
it's
kidding.
not 2 a.m. So Xbox is missing out on yet another game, of course. Again, Capcom Fighting Collection 2 will be skipping the Xbox this time. So we'll just say, I don't know. Are you guys interested in this? Are you sad? Mad?
But we know why it's happening.
Why is it happening, Hargeet? Let us know.
They didn't want to invest in porting over to the new dev kit. And so they have an engine that they use for that game, and for previous consoles it's there, But if you want to have it on the Series S or X, you have to port it over to the new dev kit, and that they just didn't want to deal with. So,
okay,
whatever.
Well, that's it, guys. That's that topic. Anyways, you know what won't be skipping Xbox? The future of Square Enix games. They're doubling down on that. Apparently, Square Enix is going to start putting more of their games out, and it's rumored that Jez is out there, possibly. I don't know if it's true, but there's a rumor saying that we might be getting Final Fantasy VII Remake soonish and Final Fantasy 16. So
that'd be amazing.
It would be really good for Xbox players to get 7 Remake. 16, I can care less about. That's like a fart in the wind. That game is so bad. The boss fights are just QTEs, literally. That's how bad it is. QTE boss fights. Oh, great, fun. Let me mash a button when it prompts me to. I freaking don't like QTEs. And you know, the rest of the game, the story and everything's pretty cool. But yeah, QTE bosses, not my thing. But it'd be cool if we got Final Fantasy VII Remake on Xbox on the consoles, because I love that game, and I can't wait to play Rebirth on the PC. I'm waiting for it though, because I saw that it didn't run very well, or it didn't look very well on the PlayStation 5, so I'm waiting for that. But yeah, I mean, Hargeet, what are you thinking about this? What are you thinking about Square Enix? More games.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the nice weird handshake they did on stage, right? So
yeah.
you know this was coming.
Yeah.
He slipped a coin into Phil Spencer's hand. Yeah, I saw it.
He's like, do I bow or do I shake or what do I? Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like we knew it was coming, right? So, and they've been trying to do more and more, right? Bringing more and more games in. But yeah, we'll see when it like comes to real fruition. It does take time to port some games. Fine, fair enough. There might also be just contractual headaches that they have to deal with. So they're working through that. They did say that FF14 did well on Xbox. That's cool. So they kind of want to expand. That's awesome. Hopefully the rest of them do well as well, right? So we'll see how that goes. Usually their games, if I remember right, they actually do cross and title. I think it's them, or is it Sega maybe? Where if you buy on the Xbox, you actually get it on the PC as well. It might be more Sega, but that's also a cool thing.
This just further shows that that Sony, these exclusive console deals just aren't enough for these companies.
Yeah,
and that's really the bottom line when it comes down to.
Square
Enix,
they don't want to put it on Nintendo as well, right? I don't know if they mentioned that or not. I think it was multi-plat, right? They're going to put it everywhere, and PC, right?
Yep. So yeah, I mean it's the thing to do. Square Enix states that they will further deepen relationships, their relationship with Xbox gamers. Says that Final Fantasy 14 had a really strong response on Xbox, so people are really playing Final Fantasy 16 on Xbox. I mean 14 on Xbox, which is pretty crazy. That they're Xbox guys are playing that MMO. That's awesome. Awesome to hear. It's a pretty decent MMO. Avowed. We heard that it's only going to be 30 frames thanks to Cognito's question when he interviewed the guys over at Obsidian.
Well,
here's the thing. Though? He said what the man said is they're focusing on 30 frames because they don't feel like 60 is even needed on a game like this, which is crazy. But as he kept talking with him, Cognito's like, it sounds like there might be a 60 later on, but they're focusing on 30 right now. Well, how do you guys feel about that, though?
Go ahead, guys.
You go ahead. I've said a lot about this.
How do you feel about this? The developer saying that he doesn't feel like 60 frames is needed in a first-person game like this.
I'll
RPG.
say that once you're used to a higher frame rate, it is very difficult to go back. I will say that.
Yep.
I will say that. So I understand that. Now I am notoriously known to prefer 30. Everyone prepare yourself in chat. I am notoriously known to prefer 30 frames, especially in. There you go. In third person.
No, Red
games.
Wolf, you get the fuck out of here. I'm
all right, we'll see you later. Thanks,
I'm not dealing with that shit, man. You prefer 30 frames? Get the hell out of this place. No.
But like I said, once you're used to it, because I remember I've told the story a couple times, but I went through the entire Assassin's Creed. It was the Ezio collection, and so all that runs like really high frame rate, 60 and whatnot. Got done with it, and I'm like, I'm gonna go through all the Assassin's Creed in order. So the very next game that I tried to play was Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Oh my god! So oh my god! And I for the first time in my life, I realized. It was like I felt like I was gonna like throw up. I felt like I was getting like a headache. Like I couldn't like focus. I'm running around on a beach. All this foliage like flying past me at 25 to 30 frames per second. After like 90 hours of playing in 60, and it totally screwed me up. And I was like, absolutely not. But after a while, I did get used to it. But I feel like honestly, on a developer standpoint, this is probably just an excuse for an excuse. Like seems like harsh, but I would say that this is what they were aiming for, just to make sure that it runs solid. The same way that Starfield, they wanted to make sure that ran solid on 30, and then obviously they gave us a 60 frames that runs great. So I don't think that there's anything to worry about. But at launch, yeah, it's kind of disheartening for people who really prefer 60, especially in a first-person game. And by the way, they didn't show any third person because they said that the build that they presented did not include the third person gameplay. So there's a lot of if, ands, and buts and whatnot. But
a lot of
hopefully
butts.
a lot of buts. Yeah, but that's just my awful, terrible take that everyone will yell at me afterwards about.
Yeah, and Mav, what say you on this? Like, I have not heard your take, so go ahead.
Okay, so 30 is a growing trend with Xbox at launch on their big games, right? You have multiple big game launches in a row that are not racing, right? Motorsport had 60, but that's has to be expected, right? Besides that, you have Hellblade 2, you have Avowed, you have Starfield. Everybody said, oh, this is a developer's vision. It's like, it's Todd's vision. Why should they ever even consider it? It's what he wants it to be 30. It's like, like, no, okay. Like this is just, they're launching it at 30. It's not a priority for them to have the options for the console gamers at launch, because optimization, as the Avowed developers said, that's something they focus on last, as we talked about also earlier with Black Myth Wukong, right? And I just would like for them to make it a bigger priority at the tail end of development to have options for console gamers, right? And that is always an important thing to me. I'm going to be consistent with that. I think it's BS that console gamers don't get the even two options at launch a lot of times, and we get the update later for it, right? Hey, yeah, let's all celebrate this update that should have been there. And this is something that is become more so an Xbox problem, because Xbox isn't requiring it from the developers, whereas on PlayStation they have kind of put some of those requirements on the first party development studios for those things. That's why you see a lot of them have the same kind of three options, right? You have your 1440 60 ray tracing mode, you'll have your 4K 30 fidelity mode, you'll have your ultra performance mode, and all that kind of stuff too. Like, multiple of those games have multiple options. So in that sense, that's something I will praise PlayStation for on their first party games, is actually with the console gamers giving them the options for the frame rates, right, at launch. It's something that Xbox, what the positive thing with Xbox is they support their games longer, they update them longer for free, they get more improvements. Like Starfield's still getting better and better and more awesome every couple of months. Seems like there's an amazing update on it. So that's the upside for Xbox, and that's something that PlayStation really doesn't do, right? If they do any work afterwards, they really want to charge you for it, right? So there's two ways to look at it, but I just gotta say, minimum two options at launch. Please make it a priority for console gamers to have those. I would really like it.
Let me ask you about options.
At 60 now, I used to not care. I'm a 60 snob.
Yeah, I've become that thanks to Hargeet and this magical machine right here that he sent me.
Oh, look at it go!
I am a higher than 60 frame snob now. Like, honestly, When I have to cap it to 60, which I've done like on Wukong and stuff, I just capped it to 60, just had a smoother experience. You can notice a difference between 60 and 100 plus. Like you see that difference. It's, man, 30 is just so hard to go down to, so hard. And I will, if need be, I will play a game at 30. If I have to play it on the console, say GTA 6 comes out, it's only 30, I'm going to be there because it's a game I have to play day one. I will play that game. But it just, you really shouldn't have to, it shouldn't have to come to this with a lot of these games anyway. I feel like there are PCs out there that are worse than the Series X, and people are able to dumb down their settings, do what they need to do to at least hit 60. Now, let me ask you about that.
Starfield's 60 on Series S now with the last update that they did.
Yeah, and that's why it was BS when they were like telling you, oh, they can't do it, or it's their vision. Like, I've heard all of that. I think it's BS. Now, if it's a game that's running on Unreal Engine 5, I kind of get, because it's really demanding. It really is, because even if you're looking over at Wukong now, the game is still not running great in performance mode on the PS5. It's all over the place, and they're using frame gen to do it. So
that's a bit, for me, that's like BS too, because like when they start talking about this next generation and Unreal Engine 5 and stuff, one of the things they kept promoting with all these things was like how this technology of making these games are going to be able to hit higher resolutions and not impact the frame rates and all this stuff. That was what was sold to everybody for so long about, hey, it's going to ease up things for developers to make these games run better and still be able to have great graphics. But it seems either the developers don't know how to use the tools, or they don't care to use them, or I don't know what it is, but they're unoptimized. All these games, a lot of the games.
Well, the thing is, Mav, before I got this machine, I honestly went to GeForce Now. I left the console and I went to GeForce Now, and I was able to play Game Pass games on GeForce Now on a 4080 Super through the cloud, and it ran really freaking good, and I got my high frame rates, and I played like that for months, and I preferred it. It was like I was playing Starfield there and everything, and it looked amazing, and I was telling Colt about it and stuff, but I don't know, man. We were sold on, we were sold on the 120 frames, 60 frames, all this stuff at the beginning of the gen, but tech moves, I understand it. And also these games take longer to develop for. And it seems like anytime we get a 30 frames game now, you get that 60 frames 6 months to a year later. So it's not that they can't do it. They just need more time and money to do it. And it sucks. So let me ask you guys this, though. Red, I'll ask you first. Speaking of options, what if with every game you were given the same options you had on a PC game, the PC version? So you can change the shadows, change whatever you want, reflections and all that stuff, ray tracing off. Would you like that in console gaming?
Yeah, because at that point it would be my fault if my game runs shittily. Because
shittily, I like it.
because yeah, that is, it's sort of, and as someone who has been playing a lot of PC games lately, like I said, I built my PC a few months ago, and that was a whole journey. And I've learned so much about, like, you really do like have a lot of agency with how your game is going to run with all the options that are presented to you. And with console gaming, the biggest thing about console gaming that people don't have to think about anything. They're used to turning on a game and it works and it runs, and that's all that they have to think about. Now games are getting more and more demanding, and so that's why we're seeing delays, because we don't the developers and whatnot want to make sure that the customer turns on the game and they don't have to think about, why is my game running so bad? They just want to turn it on. It's a good game and they want to have good reviews. And to turn on a game and to be sure to set up all your settings and make sure this is your recommended settings, and even your recommended settings on PC it does not always mean that it's going to run the best, as you guys know, and Hargeet know. So I would still love to have that the same way that I would love this, because right now the bare minimum that we have is performance and quality mode. And so people who want to take the hit for quality or vice versa will have to sacrifice something along the way, instead of, like you said, having the option to mess with the settings enough to where you get it just right. You got a higher frame rate and you're good with your resolution and quality. I think that would be really great. In a game, speaking of Unreal Engine 5, Stalker 2 runs at 60 frames on Xbox Series X, from what we understand. Now, they did show this at a lower frame rate during the presentation. One of the presentations, the most recent presentation that they showed was running at 60 frames, and that was I'm not sure if that was running on a dev kit or on a PC, but from what we understand, John Linneman has said from Digital Foundry said that it runs at a solid 60 frames on the Xbox Series X. So the Unreal Engine, like you said, Mav, even that's like kind of an excuse. You're like, well, I feel like really what it comes down to is people just need more time for development. They just need more time. Starfield needs more time.
Priority, right? Like during development, they want to push all the bells and whistles for fidelity features, little things that make a slight improvement here and there, but kill performance, right? And
especially
then
ray tracing as of late.
And then when they get the end, it's like, oh crap. Oops, this thing doesn't run very well. Well, so we'll start optimizing it, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Hargeet, what say you on all this?
So this isn't really confirmed. This was just an offhand remark as part of the ILP thing, right? They haven't actually said anything beyond that, correct?
Nothing else was said.
Okay. So, I mean, he just said that was their target while they were developing it. They still have 6 months before this game comes out. And so they could be working on performance targets. It's up to them, right? So
true.
I don't know that it's going to be at 30 only when it launches. That's just where it is now. And that's because that's all they've been targeting, to just get it up and running. And that's what they want to get to some level. And then it's up to them to make it, up to 60, which we all know it's going to happen, right? But it's a question of when it happens. And so it could be that at launch, it is ready at 60, right? And this is not, by the way, the performance dude. This is a totally different
artist.
Guy. It's nothing to do with that.
It's
right?
the artist, the lead artist.
So like the technology people will figure out the technology stuff. I don't think that's and plus UE5, they have access to Coalition. They can figure that out if they want to, right? And they've got the time. They can get the 60. I'm sure they'll figure that out. But I don't know. Again, will it be at launch or not? We'll see.
You know what else they said, Hargeet?
It's not like this guy confirmed that it's going to be 30.
No, you know what else?
Where we are now.
Yeah, the other thing he came out and said was that he was claiming that the Series X version is running better than the PC version. And the question I have is, well, are you just saying that it's really unoptimized for the PC, or are you using a PC that is maybe on par with the Series X? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. We will see, right? Like you saw with Black Myth Wukong, right? Even on PC, if it's not optimized...
yeah, you get issues.
I will say this: that guy doesn't need to be answering any questions about frame rates.
Facts.
Because he was pretty proud during the IOP interview to like, oh, I got this. He like reached over, grabbed the mic. Hey, we only care about optimization last. It doesn't matter because it's a first-person game. We only focus on 30 frames. Is this what you guys want to hear? Hey, that's the next question. I mean, it's like. And then now the other thing, he just seemed like ultra overconfident to like this. Hey, I got this, guys. Everybody else, I know this is an uncomfortable question. Let me handle this, And it was like, you didn't do a very good job, bro. You maybe
quality control.
Now, traditionally, their games have launched 30, right? Like their games usually launch, I believe, right? Is that true?
Obsidian, yeah, probably all their past games, right? But I think, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, we'll see what they do. But I think they do have access to a team if they want to. I'm sure they've heard the feedback. They have 6 months to figure it out. So hopefully it comes out. Or maybe even if it like launches and then like a couple of weeks later they have a patch that gives you 60 FPS. I think it's coming either way.
Well, that is all I have for tonight. And it's all, it's been a nice long show with a couple of great guests here, and also an amazing co-host here with the best beard in the game. I just want to tell everybody thank you for showing up tonight, and let these fine gentlemen give their outros so they can get out of here and get some sleep or play a game or do something. Get on a party chat. Talk. I don't know. Go. I don't know. Do something.
Take a shower.
There you go. All right. So Red Wolf, let everybody know where they can find you and your podcast.
You can find me in the shower, and my address is you can find me at Red Wolf Renegade on YouTube and on Twitter. Apparently, I'm the only Red Wolf Renegade in the world so far. So don't you dare go and make a Twitter account called Red Wolf Renegade. But that's where you can find me, and I got a podcast every single Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time. I don't know anything about times. I don't know, but yeah, I got great guests. Got a great panel. Yeah,
except for one, he never shows himself, so he sucks.
Yeah, Assassin. We're trying to get Assassin. We got Assassin Entertainment
teasing,
on, and
but
he is such a smart dude, and like man, like we are like fighting to get him on camera, but it'll happen. It'll happen.
The one guy that doesn't.
Yeah, so we
you
got
can find that blue number. Holly is on
in that
your
blue
panel.
number. Yeah, she's in the chat right now. Holly, that blue number is there. Also, we have DeMarco Dude, who is an amazing YouTuber who is on hiatus right now, but he's not on hiatus with the podcast. So you can find us all there, and it's a fun show. It is like just hanging out with your dudes, and we just get wild and loose, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So,
but you know that Holly looks like someone that would steal the butter tins from Outback or something. She looks like the
Is
type.
Stephen Avery back in jail? That's what I want to know.
Mav, let everybody know where they can find you, buddy, and the Fun Speculation podcast, as well as all the other podcasts you do. Let them know.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'll be looking for the cave to find the guy to touch to get the secret ending.
Yes.
So I'm going to be doing that
you.
here. I'm still wondering what game that is also. But besides that... FSPs, we got Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Fun Speculation Podcast. Thursdays, PM in the PM at 7 p.m. Eastern Time with Pong, Soul, and I. And then Friday nights, Xbox Ultimate Podcast at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Yeah, and on Twitter, Fun Speculation everywhere. Fun show, guys. This was great.
No, thank you for showing up, man, and doing this. It was such late notification for both of you, and I appreciate both of you for coming on and gracing us with your presence. Hargeet Chani, the greatest co-host of all time. He is so great that he's on every freaking podcast out there just about. 17 times a week you could find this man talking about games, and he can do it for 30 times a week if he needed to be there. He would. He'd be there or something. Hargeet, let them know where they can find your channel, all the podcasts you do, and your book.
Yes. Well, you can subscribe to my channel, youtube.com/HargeetJohnny1. And my book, Emergence. It's a sci-fi novel kind of based on a Mass Effect-y story. If that's of interest to you, go for it. Shop.chani.us. It'll point you to Barnes & Noble and Amazon in your country or whatever, and you can get the book there. If you want some merch, like the shirt I'm wearing, you can get that there as well. If you want a signed copy, there's that available as well. And I will be on, I guess, Friday. I'll be on C Money and Doodles show at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, night shift.
All right. Well, thank you for being here every week.
Thanks for being on, Red and Math.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
No
It's been
problem.
a long time coming. Yeah.
Of course. Anyways, guys, until next week.
Oh, wait. Gaming Forte?
Oh,
Forte.
wait. Forte with the late super chat. You know what? This is so like Forte. You know why? He's late to everything. Everything, including podcasts.
And he has to give a super chat with a snarky remark.
This is Gaming Forte with a super chat, $4.99. He says, "Love you, Fonz, and sometimes Hargeet, Mav, Red Wolf is cool." So it's sometimes for Hargeet and Mav, or sometimes he loves you, Mav, sometimes, and Hargeet.
It's all right.
He loves me all the time.
We have our history.
And You guys don't know this, but
I'll remember
Mav,
this, Forte. I'll remember this.
Mav, he is the one that you seek in Wukong and touch in that place to get the secret ending.
Oh,
Anyways,
geez.
with
That's
that,
right.
good
That's right.
night.
You gotta
Have a
touch
great
him in the
time.
special
Until next
region
week.
to win.
Yeah. Until next week. Game on.